day of October. Did somebody say already? Yep, it is the 17th day of October. Thank you so much for joining us. Of course, it's the hour is in this morning. We just heard from Paul Richards. We'll hear from Richard Raghubar Singh. We got Shane in for Ruben, who's on some R&R. My name is Steve Khan. We'll keep you company until 9 o'clock this morning. Let's get straight into the WTs, see what's happening weather and traffic-wise. Boy, let's see. Head down San Fernando. I got nothing ready to tell you about. Making your way up north, you're going to pick up your traffic from Chase Village to Sugar Gorners, and it continues until pretty much Caroni. All right, and heading towards the interchange. Kelly Village got some traffic. Maloney to Piarco, Trin City to Yui. Paget Road is already heavy. McCoy Road is beginning to build. Eastern Main Road, as you pass through to McCoy by Eldorado Road, you've got some traffic there. From the interchange, well, I should say from Yui, pretty much interchange a little faster. You slow up heading to Barataria, and just before swim call, you got the traffic. On the west, beginning to build out of Digo and Maraval. All right, let's check the temps, see what our weather is going to be like for today. Yep, as I do a little refresh here and see what's happening. It is 26 degrees at Piarco International Airport, 27 at Crown Point in Tobago. The Met Office is saying sunshine will likely be interrupted by a few partly cloudy intervals with showers over a few areas. There's a medium 40% chance of isolated thunderstorm activity, especially during the early afternoon, favoring Trinidad. This evening will be generally settled, apart from the isolated shower. All right. And of course, thank goodness that heat spell, as the Met Office said, is over. I don't know what happened. Sunday was a different kind of heat test. It is 9 degrees in Toronto, cloudy. Miami, 16 and clear. Orlando, 12 and clear. New York, mostly clear at 10. Atlanta, you're at 7 and clear. London, 13 and got some cloud. Tampa, 13. Washington, D.C., 10. Listen out in LA, you're at 17 degrees. All right, that's some temps. That's your WTs this morning. Let me throw it across to the one, the only. Paul Richards, good morning to you, my friend. Oh, I did not say. Hold on. Don't come in yet, Paul. Let's say good morning going out to Maria Celia. Good morning, Maria Marva. Oliver Man Warren, Trinity in Boston. D. Pierre, good morning. Rena Boodoo Jennings. DJ Ray out in Chile, Delaware. Miss Ingrid in Tucson, Arizona. Brenda Isaac. Rennie Mohammed, good morning to you all. Have a productive day as well. Carol Joseph. Wendy and James. Marcia Rock. Always locked on every morning. All right. So good morning to you, Pablo. What's happening?
Morning, Steve. Good morning, everyone. How are the folks?
And then everybody is good, man. Everybody is good.
Wonderful.
Yeah, yesterday was a busy day. Yeah,
No.
Did an airport run early in the morning, and then saw about the folks afterwards. So yeah, it was a busy morning. And I tell you, Paul, I have to tell you. So the parking lot of the International Airport, Piarco, I cannot believe how deplorable it is.
Yes, it's been run down for a while, and I don't think they're doing anything about it.
Nobody is doing anything. And you know what's worse? We as citizens make it that
way. And grass growing all over the place.
And food containers and beer bottles. Well, we do that part. In general, the citizens do that.
But the airports authority should be maintaining it.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, you have to pay to go into that car park,
Exactly.
So what are you paying for? Just to drive in? They should be maintaining it. Even if the nationals or whoever, most of the nationals are playing stink and dirty of the place, which is disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
The airports authority should be maintaining the car park and having regular cleanings and stuff.
One would think. I went to the food court, the local food court. It was washed down. It was clean. Had my doubles for breakfast. And I looked at the roof and I said, oh, my God, how nasty is that roof? but it's been a while since I really looked at the airport and noticed it. Usually just go pick up or drop off quickly and I gone. And I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe how, airport authority needs to pull up their socks when it comes to that. And you're right, we are paying for it.
Yeah, you're paying to use the car park. You use the car park for free.
Yeah, I paid at $10. Right.
I'm in the public car park for a while, but I mean, even years ago when I used to use it, the potholes and the grass green unkempt and the out of the corner of the concrete and stuff is horrible.
I mean, inside is nice. It's kept clean, but
the airport terminal is well maintained for the most part.
Yeah. They need to have some landscaping as well.
Well, I don't know. Anyway. Yeah. Good morning to PriceSmart customers.
Let me tell you something. I was so pissed off. I listened to you guys yesterday talking about it. And I don't know who gave whoever permission to go into my credit card and take out money without my permission. And
did you listen to the news update?
Halfway. I was doing something.
Clearly not.
Halfway.
Well, before you go on your rant and sound foolish, okay, the Bankers Association and the Ministry of Trade are investigating. Apparently, this is the release coming from PriceSmart and the Bankers Association that it's not only PriceSmart, but PriceSmart was hit seemingly hardest because most of the reports came out of PriceSmart. But it was some sort of processing issue. The ministry says they don't think it's an issue of PriceSmart being fraudulent, which would be stupid for PriceSmart when you think about it. Or a cyber attack or a scammer. You think it's a processing issue. The concern people have, because every report I saw on social media and otherwise reported people getting back most of their money minus a couple dollars, which the association indicated was as a result of the forex fluctuations between the time the money was taken out without authority and it was put back in, because the forex the rate goes up by a couple cents or every hour. You understand? Depending on supply and demand. What people want to know is how and when they're getting back those few dollars, because they should not be even losing $10 or $5.
That was my
transaction they did not authorize. So that is the situation in terms of information as we need. So don't want to rant.
No, that's my rant. Where's
about PriceSmart? Yeah, to be fair to PriceSmart, well, one of the problems is that PriceSmart took too damn long to put out information to the public, because this started happening on a Friday. And it's only yesterday, after several media houses tried to contact PriceSmart, with their initial response being no comment. I don't know how you can have a no comment response. They put out a release with the information I just gave. So, we will see how it goes.
It's a good thing I check my statement daily.
Well, anything goes on my credit card and any transaction comes up on my phone.
Yeah, me too. It comes up on my phone. So I was like, okay, what's going on here? And then you're trying to call RBC and oh boy, that's another issue.
Well, I mean, the banks were responding to their customers. So most people who I spoke to or who would have been affected told me, because the banks most of the banks have that security system in place, whereby they have an emergency call line. I mean, First Citizens is ring forever, and I don't know how it could be an emergency when it rings forever. You understand? So it takes you some hours to get through to my credit card is First Citizens. But I mean, that is the update. And the Minister of Trade said she has asked the Consumer Affairs Division to investigate the incidents, so that customers are not disadvantaged, meaning, of course, that those few dollars, seemingly a few dollars, which they shouldn't be lose because the issue is not theirs and they did not initiate the transactions. And seemingly, what is confusing is it didn't happen to everybody.
No.
Because I was in PriceSmart I was there on Thursday, so that's probably why it didn't affect me. It seemingly started to happen on Friday. I didn't have a problem, but many people. The news last night was repeated with persons who were telling the media houses about these experiences when they told us about his yesterday on the show.
I heard that, yeah.
And then somebody else called and said they had a similar experience. But I think, as I said, PriceSmart should have, in a timely manner, put out a release, because I'm sure people were calling PriceSmart as early as Friday and Saturday. You don't wait till Monday to put out a release, given the number of people who I realized would have been calling PriceSmart and their banks. Right? So the Bankers Association assures the public it's not any type of fraudulent or cybercrime activity against customers or the banks, and their banking information remains secure. He said the reversal arose as a result of a processing issue which had unfortunately impacted many banks. They said the forex fluctuation between the time of the unauthorized transaction and when they tried to put back the money, or when they put back the money, resulted in that differential people would have seen put back. So if you take out, if your card was charged for $300, you may have gotten back $270 or $80. You understand? Which people damn right to say, listen, me initiate any transaction, I'm not supposed to lose no money. They're right. Whoever had to absorb it would be PriceSmart and the banks.
One out of two.
Well, you want to absorb it because it's not my fault. It's all your fault or your issue. You know, so that's the update on that. We'll see how it goes later on this morning.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people were affected by that. A lot of people were affected by that. But I mean, anytime you see that thing, those unauthorized transactions in your credit card, I know I go into a panic.
Yeah, I do miss the prepaid credit card, do I?
What you talking about?
Remember the prepaid credit cards, which you don't get anymore? I do miss that one.
The debit cards.
Yeah.
The international debit cards.
Yeah, I do miss that card.
No. I think the Forex SU crashed that. It was some Republic Bank at the point, right?
I'm sorry?
It was
yes.
Republic Bank used to issue that.
Yeah.
They phased it out.
Yeah.
And then this issue is which bank slashes Republic Bank self slash the credit card access by half on a monthly basis. Fortunately, knock wood, the other banks haven't followed that I know about. You know? What else is happening in the country? I saw the Minister of National Security being grilled yesterday in the Standing Finance Committee by members of the opposition. You know, and he can handle himself. You know, they're throwing the tit for tat across the floor as usual.
Not always.
You know, but I mean, they asked some very, very pertinent questions also about police operations. A lot of emphasis is placed on lifeguards and lifeguard availability and fire services and the appliance and the need to have an appliance at every station. And the minister says that is the intention. When I hear that, I just shake my head. Because you know, they have no fire appliance at every fire station. You know, and the intention to have enough oxygen masks units for every fire officer so that they have a personal, of course, the intention is never realized. So I don't know. And the intention to add 1,000 officers to the strength of the TTPS. in this fiscal year, this fiscal. So we'll see how it goes. The Met Office has discontinued its hot spell alert.
Oh boy, Sunday was a different kind of heat, boy.
Yeah, Sunday was very, very hot. Sunday was run to the house to the car, run to the car to wherever you're going.
Yeah, but Sunday was different, boy.
I wonder how people without AC make out. Honestly, it is debilitating, that heat. And you'd have to stay outside for long, you know.
No?
10 minutes outside and your gauge going up, you know.
Mm-hmm.
10 minutes walking around outside, you know. Even like when I go to walk and run in the evening, all 7 o'clock, 7:30, it's still hot.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very, very hot. So
I drove on Sunday. The car said I started the car at 39 degrees. I probably drove about 3 miles after. It was still at 39. I was like, nah. I said, whoa.
Well, the car would read higher than the actual temperature.
Yeah, it would. It would.
But the car is metal, so
I think your dog's
the car would feed off of that sun baking that metal out there. And it starts up early, you know, from as early as 7:30 in the morning. You start to feel the heat increasing, the temperature increasing. It's like, what the hell is this?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Even here, when we come out the front door for the office, you just get this whoosh of heat.
Yeah.
Thank goodness the hot spell is over.
It is a lot. It is a lot. Quite a lot. Morning, Azalakuba Singh.
Morning, Rich.
Morning, guys. Morning, child listeners.
So can I say this again these days? As you log on, you're inputting.
Yeah, vast improvement.
No kudos. No kudos. You're moving like Price Smart there.
What?
You're moving like Price Smart. You're taking long to give kudos. Or to respond.
I don't know. I mean, obviously Republic Bank people weren't affected. At least it doesn't seem so.
No.
But I'm not so sure what that is about.
Well, they put out a release as telling Steve earlier on. Finally, after the media hung them and the country manager saying no comment for a while, First Minister Paula Gopee-Scoon, the Minister of Trade and Industry, said that she's asked the Consumer Affairs Division to investigate. And they are, and also the Bankers Association has launched an investigation, but they said they're aware of the reports. But the Bankers Association assures the public it's not any type of fraudulent or cybercrime activity, and their banking information is secure. The reversal arose as a result of a processing issue, which would have impacted more than one bank and more than one merchant. It's not only PriceSmart, but most people spoke about their PriceSmart experience. They said one of the releases said that the differential discrepancy occurred because of the forex fluctuation between the time of the initial unauthorized transaction and the time they put back the money. So however little the forex changed at that point, you understand? Here was the interesting thing about that. Nobody can get more money, you know.
No. It was less.
So if the forex went in the other direction, how come you can get more money? You understand? Unless it don't ever go beyond what you put in, which is strange, because if it's a fluctuation, the fluctuation is up and down. You know? But nobody can get more money.
But I thought we were fixed, and we kind of fixed against the US.
We fixed within a range. Remember, the Central Bank pumps in money to keep it from going crazy.
Right.
As a government policy, it's fixed, but within a range. So when it starts to go beyond that range, the Central Bank pumps in more money into the system to stabilize it.
So they're saying it's a processing
issue.
But
I don't understand. I still don't understand the processing issue thing, because I understand the forex fluctuation and you're getting a little less. How, unless is an electronic glitch that just sent through, but how does an electronic glitch send through different amount? Because Wendell told us yesterday, one was a big amount and one was a small amount. None matched what his initial purchase was. You understand? So how is it just choosing random numbers to debit? You understand?
Yeah.
What's accounting for this glitch, choosing random numbers, random sums of money to process? That just sounds like things that make me go, It just sounds odd. But again, it wouldn't be, unless if it's a human, the human must know that after a while they can pick it up and they'll find the person, because I mean, people will get the reports immediately. If as I said before, from the time I do a transaction in my credit card, within 3 minutes, sometimes less, I get an email saying X at this merchant has been debited. You understand? And if this is not you, call this number.
Yep.
Right? So any transaction in my credit card does that. And I'm sure most people have that safety feature too.
Yep.
Or you get a text message, you can opt for a text message or a WhatsApp message saying the same thing, alerting you that a transaction has occurred. Same thing with the bank account, your bank accounts. So, but I don't understand how it shows random amounts of money to debit back, and why. And all the association said it's more than one merchant. Why so many people at PriceSmart in particular? Is that PriceSmart transacts the most business over the weekend, maybe, as a merchant?
It's probably the largest merchant that was affected.
That transacting business.
Yeah. Which is easy to believe. Which is easy
to believe, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, think about it. Massy is a huge transactor of business too.
Very much so.
Why not Massy? I don't know.
They did not identify who the other merchants were.
No, but they said it's not. They said more than one merchant and more than one bank.
Yeah, it was clear it was more than one bank, but Republic Bank for some reason was not affected because the Republic Bank persons didn't complain.
Well, maybe RBC seemed to have been quite affected.
Yeah, RBC seemed the most affected.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything about Scotia. I didn't hear First Citizens call.
Yeah, so,
but they said more than one bank and more than one merchant. So
yeah,
we will see.
But the Bankers Association and the PriceSmart was released a statement. But the Bankers Association, I think, has to be a little bit more on top of it in providing the explanation. Even if, because they're saying it's more than one merchant.
Yeah.
So you need to be clear on what transpired.
Yeah, they said it was a technical. Sorry, it was due to a technical issue in processing that affected multiple banks and merchants outside PriceSmart's control. That's not the Bankers Association. So I don't know if PriceSmart got information that other merchants were also affected, but certainly.
But I'm saying the Bankers Association needs to clarify whether it's a problem on their end in terms of whatever processing technical issue that took place. Because the banking sector depends on confidence of the consumer.
Yeah, and making sure that my business secure, my money secure.
Yeah, so they need to be.
I just found PriceSmart took too long to respond to calls in the media for a comment. The initial thing was no comment, which is ridiculous under these circumstances.
Well, I don't know. I mean, if you're running a business, you have to try to get to the facts too. And
yeah, but say we are investigating. They'll say no comment.
Yeah,
we're aware of the situation. We know our valued customers are anxious, but stand assured we are investigating and we'll update you as soon as possible. Don't say no comment.
Well, that's
a standard response.
That's their communications person's issue, but
really.
But obviously, it'll have to be doing investigations to find out what is going on.
Yep. Right.
But people get so conspiratorial so quickly.
Well, the money, yeah.
No, but you don't have to get so conspiratorial. Be pragmatic and practical about it. What went on? You want to get to the facts of it.
One person said they lost $130 from their credit card account.
Wait.
You understand? That's a lot. The Confederation of Regional Business Chambers said 15 to 20 of its members were also impacted. You see, when I see that when it's either 15 or 20.
Make up your mind.
when I see those kind of report, 15 to, no, it's either 15 or 20, or say approximately 17. Don't be guessing. 15 to 20 is either 15 or is 20 or is 19 or approximately 18.
Yeah.
No, when I saw that, I just the red flag just go off in my head. Anyway, that's the update.
And you're saying the Bankers Association saying it was not a cybercrime issue.
That's what it's not a cybercrime, or doesn't seem to be a fraud issue.
And by cybercrime, I assume that means hacking.
A hack, yeah.
Yeah, because that would be an issue. Because if that was the case, then it means there would be a recall of many credit cards this morning.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to change your credit card.
They would have recalled those cards.
Yeah.
So I think we just have to get what exactly happened, be transparent about it, and give back everybody their money down to the last cent.
Yesterday, also, as I said earlier, Minister Hines was before. Well, the subject, the center of attention in the Standing Finance Committee. And the thing that irritates me came up again. The issue of the CCTV cameras in Trinidad and Tobago, with Saddam Hussein questioning him about, he made a statement in his budget presentation, the minister that is, about this 50 to 75 new CCTV cameras that were to be installed on a weekly basis in the country. And information that some Johnson's company and Digicel were hired to provide the backbone for these new CCTV cameras. And they were to be installed in 5 areas in Port of Spain and other areas in the country in particular. And then Saddam Hussein asked him about I think it's about 1,700 cameras that the Dr. Rowley's administration met in play that were installed by the People's Partnership, and how many of those were active. And the minister said he gave an answer, which he did some months ago, as to how many were active. I think it was about 700 or 800 of the 1,700. And he didn't have an answer as at yesterday as to how many were fixed. And you know what? I'm going to make a prediction now. If they install 1,000 cameras, ask in 2 years how many operational. Because, and the minister said, well, you know, rain and bush coming in, green in front of the cameras and this and that. Well, yeah, all kinds of events may impede the operations of a particular camera or cameras in the country. So he couldn't give an answer as to how many were actually operational, but he would provide that in writing. And I'm saying, the Ministry of National Security don't know how much cameras are operational. Cameras that connected to the National Operations Fusion, whatever they call it, Center Web. The name changed so much time, I don't know what to call it again. You understand?
I don't know.
And they can tell him on a weekly basis in a report, well, Minister, of the 1,700 cameras, 1,000 is an ornament that doing nothing on a pole somewhere. Rusted out and busted up and on a pole somewhere, and 700 working, but bush green in front of 300 that we can't clear yet, and pigeon 2215. You understand?
Really?
No wonder we have problems.
Really not serious about it.
We have infrastructure for national security, and we don't seem to have a maintenance schedule in place. But the answer is not maintain what they know. The answer is put up new ones. You know what new ones means? What? I wrote it for anybody who could answer.
More money and more contracts.
More contracts. I have a written for you.
More taxpayers' dollars.
I have a written for you.
You'll never get that, Richard. You'll never get it.
And I don't know if your replacement of these cameras means they're being upgraded. Maybe that's it. I don't know. But
well, he did say technology increases. I'm trying to be fair to the minister. Technology improves and you want to update your equipment. But updating your equipment could also mean updating the ones that are there now.
Yeah.
And having a proper inventory of what is active and what should be torn down. And if you have 1,700 and you were maintaining them properly, I doubt 1,000 would go down in 8 years.
Yep.
You understand? So, I mean, being serious. And then they want to know why they can't get a control of crime. You can't have police officers everywhere. Technology. You used to be asking about drone and I was laughing. If you can't get your CCTV inventory in place, drone, and when a wing could break off and thing, and they could fly it into a bus.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Being serious. Being serious.
It's something to me that I will say this. That kind of information is something that is always requested. So it's something that you should have an answer to readily.
Of course.
Because the issue
of a fortnightly update.
Yeah, the issue of CCTV cameras, how many are functional, how many are distributed across the country, is something that people always want to know. And are they working? People always want to know those basic questions. So it's something you should have a handle on.
You know what also? I saw this report in the UK and in the US. The state also in the UK and the US has been able to co-opt in arrangements business owners networks.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? They were able to surpass the legal issues and co-opt business owners' cameras, because I mean, when you think about it, that adds to the national grid.
It does.
Because more business owners will have even more cameras than the state. And in those countries, in some instances, the state has arrangements that some of those cameras are co-opted into the system, so they have even more reach. But like we wait till 10 years to figure out these things.
Yeah,
so the CCTV camera thing, so Digicel and Johnson, some JCI Johnson had been gotten, the cost was asked, but Minister said he's supplying writing. And they clearly got the contracts to put up the infrastructure, and I don't know if it's the infrastructure and the camera equipment. And we see how it goes when we ask in 2 years again or a year. You know?
Yeah.
How many of those are operational? I just don't know. And then sometimes, as I say, we always ask about. Remember that situation? Because so much happens in the country, we forget. Remember that situation 2 or 3 years ago, where the police intercepted 5 young men in a car, and all were shot dead in front of, is it the Central Bank or?
Yeah, somewhere downtown. Yeah,
in downtown, early in the morning. And when we asked, because that area is real cameras on buildings, not so?
Yes.
Right.
And we kept asking about the investigation, because the parents, I remember I went with Melissa Chase to interview the father and the mother of that boy in Ibiza. The young boy was 17 or something so. And they were distraught. They said the son had no criminal record. He was doing well in school. He probably just ended up in the wrong car with the wrong people. But of course, the car was riddled with bullets. Nobody survived. And all we hear is the investigation is continuing. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't even heard the PCA with a finality of an investigation into that, because I know reports were made to the PCA about it being alleged to be an extrajudicial killing. And we have had no finality of report from the TT Police Service on that incident in terms of what CCTV footage or other means of investigations may provide. But as so much happens in the country, we forget. Remember, they were sure was Gaddafi Romani's son killed the officer Remember that?
Yep.
They were sure. Only to find out the autopsy provided that the man, the officer, was shot from behind and died with a bullet fired by another officer. So I mean, when you hear stuff like that, you ain't believing almost nothing police tell you. Anyway, do you have papers?
Yeah. Well, just before we got to papers, the issue of also identifying the body of Marvin Joseph, who was the guy found murdered,
The Chancellor?
Lady Chancellor.
Hmm.
I think most probably a drag queen, and he was found murdered. And you know,
There was a murder in Lady Chancellor.
yeah, his body was found there. He was stabbed. And you're seeing some of the comments on social media. When did we become so hateful, Paul?
Yeah.
You know, somebody who's
I want to know.
somebody who's been murdered. No, I'm not saying that everybody was. Many people were very, you know, sympathetic and just talking about murders generally in the country. But because, you know, he was in women's clothing, some people were so disgusting
Patriotic.
as human beings.
Heartless. Callous.
Disgusting. And these are some of the same people, I am sure, who, which is what comes back to me, Paul, who claim to be religious and believe in some God and say thanks to some God in the night. Incredible.
I agree. No argument from me. A human being died, whether you agree with the life or not, the lifestyle or not. You can't empathize that a human being was brutally murdered, stabbed to death.
Murdered. Yeah.
You can't empathize with that. And saying that you empathize that the person shouldn't have died that way has no bearing on what you think about the lifestyle or not.
Yep. And you know,
and there's forget the part of the Bible that he who is without sin cast the first stone is very selective about the Bible quotations, you know.
Yep. Or yeah, judge lest ye be judged.
They're very okura with Leviticus, but not the other parts of the Bible.
It's just sad. It's just sad.
Leviticus.
It's sad.
They love the Leviticus.
But anyway, the police are continuing investigations into that incident and inquiries into that incident.
Daily Express. You only have one chapter out of this.
Yeah, Daily Express for today, Tuesday, October 17th. Uproar over discrepancy in refunds. PriceSmart blames Forex rate. That's the headline.
Yeah, but how did Forex rate initiate the Forex transaction in the first place? The Forex rate couldn't do that, PriceSmart.
Well, PriceSmart blames Forex rate, says it continues to collaborate with banks to ensure members' concerns are addressed. Homework time. There was just a picture of a child doing homework on Independence Square. And Heinz, like she probably is waiting on her parent or something. Heinz fire service not in shambles. That's also a sub-headline. And on the back page of the Daily Express, one team, Eve wants right attitude from Soca Warriors against Curacao. Right now, we are at the top of the table, which is a really good place to be. And of course, Carrie Chris affirms high credit worthiness. TNT gets a stable outlook. That's not really on the front page. That's just a little bit inside, together with the story of that accident that still is making the rounds with the U student. And I think somebody else died from that accident.
Somebody else died, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So those tragic, all of that tragedy is horrible. All right, so that's it for the front and the back of the newspapers. Oh, there's just one thing I should mention, that Bacchanal Bubble and Bad Behaviors on at Cipriani College. That's also in the Express on page 9. It's on at Cipriani College due to overwhelming public demand this weekend, Saturday at 8:30 and Sunday at 6:30. That's also in the Express. The Trinidad and Tobago Guardian. Customers hit by unauthorized electronic transactions. Bank alarm. BATT blames processing issues. PriceSmart agrees to refund affected customers. All of that's on the front page. Tobago Registrar General's office back online, and desalination plant goes offline again today. So that's going to apparently cause some water problems across the country.
Yeah,
Because they're
southern
going
part
offline.
of the country.
What's that, Steve?
Southern part of the country, mainly the southern part.
Yeah, because it's about 9. If it's going off for like 9 days, not so.
Yeah, 7 days to they start with. They're saying hopefully it'll be sooner than that. But still, a day without water is like, whoa.
Warriors stay hungry. That's on the back page. Well, that's it for the front and the back of the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian. Moving on to the Newsday. Main headline: Opposition grills Hines on police allocation. Where dollars for recruits? Well, they have dollar signs. That's the main headline that they went with. Woman learns of son's death on TikTok. That's bizarre. That's a subheadline too. Price Smart, we will reimburse customers. That's another subheadline. And the main picture is that of wounded Palestinians arrive to Al-Shifa Hospital, following Israeli airstrikes in Gaza City, central Gaza Strip on Monday. So pictures of that. Yeah. All tragic and very sad. War, mankind.
Yeah.
On the back page, CWI pumps US 2.5 million into regional game. Shallow digs deep in CWI pockets, and TNT aim to top Nations League group. Front and back of Newsday now complete.
I have a suggested question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the TTPS is improving its fight against crime, in this fight against crime?
I have no problem.
Because when bad things happen in the capital, we say, do you think these, answer the question. But I think they've made several gains, but people could say whether or not they believe so. We could go with that. Steve, I could not give the results over the weekend. I don't know where you find that. So you could give that update from the question over the weekend with the Prime Minister and the crime talks, and also the poll question yesterday.
Do you think that crime talks will actually occur? That's your poll yesterday?
Yeah.
And the results are pretty close, actually. Do you think the crime talks will actually occur? Our poll yesterday, 57%, 5-7 said no. That's a pretty close poll. Okay. All right. So let's go with your poll this morning, Paul.
Right. So here's the question.
Yeah. Do you think the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service is improving in its fight against crime in our beloved Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago? Yes or no? Send us a message via YouTube or Facebook, or you can call us, touch our tones at 222-8255 North Americans, toll-free number for you, 866-525-1099. All right. Good morning to Carol Guevara.
I think I did very, very well in the studio yesterday, but nobody congratulates me.
Yes, he did. You did, Paul.
Congratulations.
You did, Paul. It was a marked improvement. Yeah.
I didn't crash once. I wasn't flustered. I didn't mess up, but nobody didn't take. But if I crash, oh God, where's Steve? Steve, we.
Good morning, Carol Guevara. Riri out in West Palm Beach, Florida. She says it's a bit chilly this morning in Florida. Godzilla in Valencia. Anthony Tinto in Canada. Wayne B in Covington, Georgia. Richard M. Jeremiah. Good morning. Cookie
Cheryl, go to YouTube. Cheryl Picks. Go to YouTube and just type in Power 102 Digital, and you'll get us.
And you'll see it.
I'm sure you have YouTube on a phone or on a computer somewhere, right, Cheryl? That's all you have to do. Go to YouTube and type in Power 102 Digital.
If you go to Facebook, do the same. Dennis Passad, good morning. Cookie Monster, good morning. Karen Yipnow. Mo Gaines, good morning.
Scorpion Pepper says in the news last night, other merchants, including Dufries at the airport, Lighthouse Restaurant, Chagramas, also were affected. Somebody also said other banks, Scotiabank, First Citizens, JMMB, and Royal Bank were also affected. So it's not only, but the majority came seemingly from PriceSmart and, is it Republic Bank?
No, Republic Bank was not affected.
Or the Republic Bank wasn't affected. Okay. All right. Our question this morning.
Call? Yep. Good morning, caller. Do you think the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service is improving in its fight against crime in TNT? Morning.
Hi, morning, Steve.
Morning.
My answer is yes. My answer is yes. Morning, Shira. That is for Rich and Mr. R. And Steve, Paul yesterday did not address the callers and acknowledge us yesterday. So.
Oh my God!
I don't know what it is. He bought it. Oh, you think he did very well? And no, doing very well.
No, that's a fail. That's a fail.
Exactly.
You do not acknowledge our listeners. That's a fail.
You need love, you know. You need more love in your life.
Thanks, Mrs. R.
I ain't giving you enough love, so you want attention from everybody.
Good morning, caller.
Good morning, gentlemen. Welcome back, Steve. My answer is no, Sandy Grandy.
Thanks, Grandy.
All right. Ish Malik says no. Ray Holasi says no. Malik says no. And Alan Reese says no.
All right. Good morning, Cheryl Picks. Scorpion Pepper, good morning.
Finbar Collins says yes. Good morning, Karen. Yes. Apparently, I have to acknowledge everybody. They acknowledge it is like, whew.
Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Steve and Richard.
And Paul, you can't forget Paul. He gets very upset.
That's all right. That's all right.
No. This is Trini Jam.
Hey, Trini Jam, where you going?
I know you haven't heard me, and I know you didn't miss me because you would have said something.
I did miss you. I know my regulars, and I acknowledge all listeners.
Okay, Steve. I was real busy. You know, I was selling a property, but I am through with that. Then I was in Toronto, and I'm back now.
Okay. Wonderful. What do you think about our poll? Do you think the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service is improving its fight against crime?
I think they are trying.
Okay.
I will say yes.
All right.
So you guys will hear from me. Take care.
All right, Trini Jam. Have a good one. All right, Lando. Keegan Barth, good morning. Gloria Gray, good morning. Vaughn Drayton, good morning to you. All right, do you think the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service is improving its fight against crime in T and...
Ingrid says no.
All right.
Scorpion Pepper says no.
Come on, let's get those calls. Let's get those votes.
It'll be nice. You see, the question is phrased positively, so they can't say we influencing the poll by the question phrasing. Okay? Do you think the TTPS is improving in its fight against crime in Trinidad and Tobago? Karen has registered an abstention, so please put it down as a vote, but it's an abstention. Ben J. Singh says yes. You're muted, Richard. I don't know what is going on with you.
No, I was leaving somebody a message. So 222-TALK, 222-8255, North Americans, 866-525-1099. People on the web or on the app, well, wherever you are watching us or listening us, you can send your messages by your votes via the comment section in the YouTube stream. Julie S. Batiste says, guys, you missed some of the votes. Thank you, Paul and Steve. You all missed some of the votes.
I didn't miss any votes.
I didn't miss any votes
I
either.
didn't with this thing as it come up, I give it to you.
The only votes we're going to do is via calls. Here we go. Good morning, caller.
Hello?
Julia.
Hi. Good morning, dear. Caller, go ahead. Okie dokie. Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Miss Sampson. I didn't hear your vote, Miss Sampson.
She said
Morning,
yes.
gentlemen. Yes.
All right, thank you. All right. Ben J. Singh says yes.
Well, Julia S. Batiste says no. I was going Finbar Collins. I didn't get his vote, and that's a yes.
That was earlier.
Yeah, but I didn't
Do you
get
think
it.
the Triangle Police
But I
Services
did give it. You're not
fighting against
listening.
crime?
So, send your message to your friend.
We have 3.5 minutes to take your votes. Carol
Carol
Guevara.
Guevara says yes.
Morning, Carol. What go on? Karen, behave. Behave, Karen. All right. Do you think the Triangle Police Service is improving against crime in TNT? Wayne B says yes. All right. It's amazing how many emergencies they have at early o'clock in the morning when there's traffic. And traffic from
Right. Reynold Roberts
City.
says yes.
Yeah, that traffic from Piarco to Trin City is amazing. The amount of emergency vehicles with sirens
No,
on
but what's amazing to me is when you come off a plane 5 o'clock in the morning, you go onto the highway 5:30, how much traffic it has. There is
Yeah, boy.
from Trin City all the way. It's like,
Yeah.
wow, what is this?
Yeah. Slick Money Grip. Good morning to you, Slick Money Grip. Yes to the poll. All righty. Let's grab this call. All right, Felix.
I was in UWI campus, yes. It's really a beautiful campus here.
I haven't
That's
been
an
there.
interesting campus. Remember, it do have doubles in there, it have books.
That doubles outside. Yeah, doubles outside.
You in Granny campus, it have books and it have doubles.
That book on doubles.
Oh, gosh.
Ooh, traffic is horrendous. Yikes. All right.
Good news is that
222-55.
the Met Office has discontinued its hot weather alert,
Amen.
but Sunday was real hot.
Sunday was a different heat boy. Had to be from that eclipse on
So we'll
Saturday.
see if the Met Office is correct.
We'll see.
And I ain't seen nothing from RIC about TNTech rates yet, which just said they would release this week.
The week ain't over yet.
I think the break saying it because we're going to kick up real first.
Yep. All right, let's grab this call. Good morning, caller. Oh, come on. Oof. All right. Yeah. Scorpion Pepper says at 5:30 I've started using the Eastern Main Road from Trin City to Port of Spain, and it's a lot less traffic. You're not
That's
the
true.
only one to say that.
Because most people flood to the highway.
Yeah.
This isn't bottlenecks on the Eastern Main Road, but usually in between is kind of smooth sailing.
Yeah.
So
All right. You have a minute again, not even. Do you think TDPS is improving its fight against crime in TNT?
you know, when you say something on Amazon, they don't release it until they buy something, you know. They set every suggestion known to mankind of that item until you buy something, you know.
Yeah, we have a suggestion for you.
I'm looking for Scotch Guard. Where can I get that?
Bag one
Hardware.
thing.
Bag one thing.
Maybe but Bagon was the one place I haven't checked yet.
Yeah.
But I will-
Don Miguel Hardware.
Because Peaks didn't have it. I checked all other places that I thought would have it, and nobody had it. They had it, but it's out of stock.
Mm.
So I was being thrust into the arms of Amazon because, of course, Amazon has it.
All right. Well, gentlemen, let's pause for a cause. Let's get into our major news because the ever so gorgeous Avie St. Hill Bob is in. Good morning to you, Avie.
Good morning to you. How are you?
You know when Richard, tell her hello. She's a little more spunky when you tell her hello. Don't
Good
look at
morning,
me.
Evie, my love.
Good morning.
You see
honey.
what I mean?
How are you?
You see what I mean?
I am
I
great.
hear what you're saying.
I am great. You sound fantastic.
Thank you, honey. So do you. I hope you have a good day today.
Right. You too.
Steve?
Oh, you ready for me now?
Yeah.
Oh.
This news bulletin from Power 102 Digital.
Minister of Trade and Industry says investigations will be launched into incidents in which PriceSmart customers were charged for purchases they did not make. The National Security Minister says bodies are not piling up at the Forensic Science Center in St. James awaiting post-mortems. Meanwhile, he says over 611 police vehicles are beyond repairs, and the TNT to benefit from U.S. aid 5-year crime intervention plan. Details in a moment. This is news to 7 o'clock on Power 102 Digital. I'm Avril St. Bob. Good morning. Minister of Trade and Industry, Paula Gopiskun, has asked the Counter Affairs Division to investigate incidents in which PriceSmart customers were charged for purchases they did not make on Friday, then reimbursed less than the original amount. On Monday, Minister Gopiskun said the situation was brought to her attention on Sunday, and she has since asked the division to look into it to ensure customers are not disadvantaged. She hoped work would begin immediately to resolve the issue. Over the weekend, scores of customers noticed unknown transactions on their credit card accounts dated October 13th that emanated from PriceSmart. Customers reported the incidents to their banks, who are blaming PriceSmart, while PriceSmart is blaming the banks. An investigation has been launched into what the Bankers Association of Trinidad and Tobago has labeled a processing issue, which resulted in thousands of dollars or more being withdrawn from customers' banking accounts over the weekend before being partially returned. BATT said the Bankers Association of Trinidad and Tobago is aware of the reports from customers regarding a recent reversal of transactions on their bank card accounts at select merchants, and assured that this is not any type of fraudulent or cybercrime activity against customers, and their banking information remains secure. Among those affected are the minister in the Ministry of Agriculture, Avinash Singh, and Professor Emeritus at the University of the West Indies, Patrick Watson. In a release yesterday, PriceSmart said that this was due to a technical issue in processing, which has affected multiple banks and merchants outside PriceSmart's control in Trinidad and Tobago. It said that in an effort to correct the transactions, cardholders' accounts may have a different amount than was initially charged due to foreign exchange rate fluctuation. It added that the banks are working to rectify the transactions, and PriceSmart continues to collaborate with the banks to ensure their members' concerns are addressed. Bodies are not piling up at the Forensic Science Center in St. James awaiting post-mortems. Confirmation of this has come from Minister of National Security Fitzgerald Hines. Minister Hines was at the time responding to concerns raised on the subject by opposition Senator and Member of Parliament for Barataria San Juan, Saddam Hussein, about a shortage of pathologists at the St. James Forensic Science Center. MP Hossain gave an example of an incident in which a man who was fatally shot a week ago is yet to get an autopsy.
Young man who was shot since Tuesday at the Avenue. His body is still waiting for the examination to be done. At Monday now, it's almost going to be a week for the autopsy to be completed on that body. Minister, can you say what urgent steps we can take in order to clear that backlog in terms of the staffing of the amount of pathologists at the center?
Minister Hines said there are 2 pathologists at the center and there's no issue of pile-up of bodies.
This is an ongoing process. You hire, they retire, they move on. For example, recently we recruited one who completed the process, and when it was full and complete, he then indicated that for personal reasons, and not national of course, that he will no longer be able to take up the position. As far as activity in the Forensic Science Center, those who are on deck are working at optimal capacity, and we have not had that problem of any pile-up within recent times. I explained to your colleague, a COVID test must in any circumstance be done, and once that is done, the results are known, then the rest of the procedure follows.
MP Hossain wanted to know if COVID testing had anything to do with the situation, to which Minister Hines strongly dismissed the allegation.
Minister, are you then suggesting that the delay in the performance of the postmortem operations are not as a result of the lack of staff, but because of the COVID-19 testing?
In any event, COVID testing is done, and when that is determined, then the autopsy takes place.
A COVID test can be done in less than 5 minutes now, Minister.
Well, you go and perform it in 5 minutes.
No, I'm not going to do that. It's your responsibility to staff the center.
Well, come and take up an appointment as a pathologist.
611 vehicles are beyond repair in the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. As a result of their state of condition, the vehicles will be disposed of. The TTPS has an overall fleet of 2,240 vehicles. However, 1,369 of the vehicles are working properly. $50 million of taxpayers' money has been allocated by the government for the maintenance of police vehicles for the next fiscal year. Minister of National Security Fitzgerald Hines provided the information while being questioned on the maintenance of TTPS vehicles during the Standing Finance Committee deliberations on the Ministry of National Security yesterday.
As it now stands, the police service is possessed of 2,244 vehicles. The number of operational vehicles as we speak is 1,369. Non-operational vehicles, 260 of them, meaning not operational but can be repaired and made operable in quick time.
Minister Hines said the Parliament was told there are 260 vehicles which are not working properly but can be repaired. $80 million will be used to buy new vehicles for the TTPS. It also disclosed that over 600 vehicles are not able to be repaired and will be disposed of.
The total number for disposal, meaning beyond the repair, is 611 of them. And insofar as vessels are concerned, with the recent establishment of the Coastal and Riverine Patrol Unit, they now are possessed of 4 of those.
Trinidad and Tobago is among 3 countries which will benefit from a 5-year financial intervention from the United States Agency for International Development. This was disclosed by criminologist and coordinator of the Criminology Unit at the University of the West Indies, Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Randy Sipasad. Speaking on the afternoon Power Drive program on Power 102 Digital on Monday, Dr. Sipasad said the other countries are Guyana, Grenada, and St. Lucia. U.S. aid through the American government has given $30 million to be used in data approaches to reduce crime and violence. Dr. Sipasad said the agency will do their groundwork through consultants by getting key information from stakeholders in the crime fight, finding out what the problems are and determining which aspect they can address given the funding constraints they may have. He said the process is free of political interference and is in a better position to be effective.
I have some very good news for the listening audience out there that USAID has brought a crime and violence reduction initiative to Trinidad and Tobago. They have put a lot of money on the table and it's about to start up, and it's a 5-year intervention to reduce crime and violence. And one of the roles that we will play as criminologists is guiding them and helping them to take those data-driven types of approaches. And the international funding agencies, mind you, will take those data-driven approaches. because they operate very differently from the way governments operate. And I'm not saying that governments don't take the data-driven approaches, but you have to help the police, you have to help the prison service, you have to deal with the AG when he calls for help, the judicial systems.
Dr. C. Prasad also cited one initiative by the Inter-American Development Bank, which was used in the past locally relating to gang violence reduction from 2014 to 2017. He said a detailed study was carried out, adjustments were made to ensure the concept suit a Trinidad and Tobago context. Experts were sent to the U.S. for training and came back after 3 years and introduced the model, which had positive results.
The team came back and implemented the model under the auspices of the Ministry of National Security, through which the Inter-American Development Bank funding was channeled, but of course with IDB oversight of the spending. And after 3 years, the implementation of the model resulted in a 36.4% decline in murders and woundings in the toughest communities in Trinidad and Tobago. Now, that's no small achievement. We're talking 16 communities with gangs in the Port of Spain area, 36.4% decline in murders and woundings and shooting.
You are listening to news on Power 102 Digital to 7 o'clock. Well, as we get closer to weather news, the Met Service has discontinued its hot spell alert. It says as Trinidad and Tobago approaches the end of the heat season, the likelihood of extended periods of extremely high daily temperatures has significantly decreased. This is due to anticipated cloudy and or rainy conditions associated with wet weather meteorological features over the coming days. The daily temperatures are forecast to be warm as usual for the rest of October. Members of the public are being asked to continue to monitor the weather conditions, stay hydrated, and visit the Met Service website for the latest weather forecasts and alerts. Speaking about the latest weather forecast and alerts, let's find out what's happening for the period today until midnight. Trinidad and Tobago sunshine will likely be interrupted by a few partly cloudy intervals with showers over a few areas. There's a medium chance of isolated thunderstorm activity, especially during the early afternoon and favoring Trinidad. Tonight will be generally settled, apart from isolated showers. Street flooding and gusty winds are possible in the event of heavy downpours. You can expect a temperature high this morning of 33 degrees Celsius, both at Piarco International Airport and Crown Point in Tobago. Currently, the temperature at Piarco is 26 degrees Celsius. It is 28 degrees Celsius at Crown Point. Recapping your headlines at 7 o'clock, Minister of Trade and Industry says investigations will be launched into incidents in which PriceSmart customers were charged for purchases they did not make. The National Security Minister says bodies are not piling up at the Forensic Science Center in St. James waiting on post-mortems. He also says over 611 police vehicles are beyond repair, and Trinidad and Tobago to benefit from USAID 5-year crime intervention plan. I'm Avril Sindel-Bab. That was News to 7 o'clock on Power 102 Digital. Look out for more news in detail at 12 noon and an update at 8 o'clock this morning. For more details, log on to power102fm.com.
Up to date and credible. Power 102 Digital.
All righty. Thank you, Avril.
You're welcome.
Feel like kind of cool. You're welcome. I get there. I don't know, Anyway, thank you, Evie, for our major news. Good join her again. Come 8 o'clock for our news brief. Quickly, let's take a look at what's happening traffic-wise. It is lighter than usual in San Fernando. Coming from New Grant, you've got some traffic there. Taking the solid ahead northbound by Couva, you got traffic towards Point Lisas. There is, let's see, and then you can pick up your traffic from Sugarguanas. All right, at Sugarguanas Main Road is a bit heavy. All the way up to the interchange, going to by Chin Chin Road to Ibis Gardens towards Curep, also got it. Kelly Village, you got traffic in the Valencia stretch this morning. Antigua Road's a bit heavy. Maloney, straight up towards UE, and then Curep in the Port of Spain Eastern Main Road. It is not too bad. It is moving all the way up towards 6th Avenue and Extension Mova Junction. On the Maraval, on the Digo, still heavy. All right? So that's a quick traffic update for you. Hope it helped you out in one way or the other. All right. Okay, let's get the results of our morning poll. Of course, we did ask you, do you think that TTPS is improving in its fight against crime in Trinidad and Tobago? That was our poll. What we got for results there? Richie Rich? Richie Rich.
There's the time.
Yeah. So the poll this morning was, do you think the TTPS is improving in its fight against crime in TNT? We had 17 people voting on the poll in the allotted time. Of the 17 people, 9 said no. They do not think they're improving, and 8 said yes. It was pretty close. 9 said no, and 8 said yes. Of course, you can continue to vote on this poll throughout the day, through all programming, and we'll give you the final result on tomorrow, which will be Wednesday, midweek.
Actually, they seem to have resolved this issue with the registrar in Tobago, finally.
Finally.
I don't know why everything had to turn into a bacchanal before they just do what they're supposed to do. You know?
Yep.
Just do what you're supposed to do.
That's all.
I don't know if I mentioned this, but Bacchanal Bubble and Bad Behavior is on by public demand at Cipriani College again this weekend. I mean, we had droves of people that came out to Cipriani College over this last weekend, and they all had a fantastic time. I mean, the audience was roaring at certain points, boy. It is so wonderful when an audience is so, you as an actor, as a performer on stage, you also in part feed off an audience and their reaction to what you're doing to her on stage. And the audience was absolutely amazing on both nights, Saturday and Sunday. I'm pretty packed. And so we are extended by public demand this weekend, again at Cipriani College. If you have not seen the play, you should not miss it. Bacchanal Bubble and Bad Behavior, Saturday at 8:30 p.m. and Sunday at 6:30 p.m. Of course, the box office at Cipriani College opens from 12 noon to 6 p.m. daily from Wednesday, from tomorrow. And of course, tickets should be at all outlets by this afternoon. So I'd say after 12 noon today, by 1 p.m., you should have tickets at all the various outlets, the usual outlets, including Creme Fresh at Brentwood Mall in Chagonas. I know people are already going to outlets for tickets, but they're getting their tickets by 1 p.m. today, as well as our usual outlets, Electronics in Arima, Jabili Rawi in Tunapuna, and Tony's Florals in Valpark Shopping Plaza, just beneath the Valpark Chinese Restaurant, Chamflair Auto Services, Rumbucks in St. James, East Gates, K-Squared Fashion at East Gates, Fens of Marabella at Piarco Plaza. All of them will have their tickets today, so you can get your tickets from 1 p.m. today. Get your tickets early. It's going to be a fantastic weekend again with Bacchanal, Bubble, and Bad Behavior.
Interesting information coming from the Chief Justice at the opening of the law term recently. He said, where's this thing gone now? Right. The Chief Justice at the opening of the 2023-24 law term says that there has been a significant increase in filings for divorce and other family matters since the opening of the family court. He said generally the filings range from 5,500 per year or so, but in 2022 to 2023 it raised from 5,500 to 9,051.
Whoa.
Isn't that amazing? But just under 4,000, of which 3,173 were related to domestic violence cases. So almost, well, 1/3 of the 9,000 domestic violence was cited as the reason for the filing of the divorce. Does that surprise you?
It doesn't surprise me. I think it's more like 50-50, because 50% is pretty much the, in Western countries, 50% of marriages ending in divorce is the global standard. So I don't think Trinidad and Tobago is far removed from that. Just in my experience of people I know who are married and who are divorced and stuff, it kind of seems like an even keel, and just anecdotally, it seems close to that 50-50%.
What surprised me is the reason the 1/3 of them is 3,000 plus, just over 3,000, being related to domestic violence issues in the marriage. I wonder, would that be attributable to COVID in any way? Or would that be post-COVID? Because during COVID, a lot of issues related to domestic violence and family strife came up because people were forced to be in the same space.
I think there was a growing divorce rate before COVID. I'm
talking about in terms of the domestic violence issues.
But I don't know. I don't know if anybody's tracking that data. I know anecdotally people have said it because people are more in their houses and et cetera. But I don't know. I don't know if anybody tracked it in a Trinidad and Tobago context. But certainly divorces have always been the mainstay of some lawyers in terms of their job profile, because they always call in law, they say divorces are bread and butter. Because they're always happening. People are always getting divorced. They are all or there are family issues that arise, custody, maintenance, things like that.
So family law practice is a big thing.
Yeah, so you have a lot of people do family law because divorces are even at legal aid, a big chunk. The by far the largest matter is divorces.
In legal aid.
Yeah.
So legal aid handles divorces also. Interesting.
Yeah. A big chunk of it, of the work they do, is divorces. People come in all the time. There's not a single day that goes by that somebody does not come in for a divorce.
Wow. And what's the main reason given, if you could share that data point?
Well, I mean, you have different reasons for getting a divorce.
Irreconcilable differences?
You either have been separated for 2 years and it's with the consent of the spouse. So you have a lot of those that they've been separated for 2 years and the other party consents. You have 5 years separation. Once you're separated for more than 5 years, you don't need the other party's consent. You can just file for divorce. They'll get served.
Okay.
Yeah. You have unreasonable behavior where somebody is...
what is unreasonable behavior?
That's where domestic violence will come under it.
Oh.
Mental torture, domestic violence, not maintaining the household, emotional, whatever constitutes unreasonable behavior within the marriage. But that's something that you have to prove to a certain extent in terms of giving instances of what kind of unreasonable behavior. What are you determining is unreasonable behavior for the court to look at? But that's generally where people who are suffering at the hands of domestic violence, etc., would come under. Then, of course, you have adultery, which is a self-explanatory. That's one of the grounds for divorce.
That's the reason for divorce?
Yeah, adultery is one. And usually, there's a listed co-defendant. So they will say, the petition will be against the husband, and sometimes against the co-defendant. Listed would be the person they've committed adultery with. That person doesn't have to do anything. They don't have to come to court or anything. Unless they want to defend.
So they actually name who is the Honaman.
Sometimes, yeah. Yeah, they will do that. Or they will have proof. They will say he has a child outside of the marriage. That will constitute, of course, adultery. So
and that's unreasonable behavior.
No, adultery is adultery. Unreasonable behavior is, something else.
I'm only getting sex twice a week when I should be getting it 5 times a week.
That could be unreasonable for you. I don't think the court will accept it, but you could, yeah. You could lift it. Go strong.
We could petition. But that unreasonable is such a subjective thing.
Yes. And unreasonable behavior is more nuanced than you would think. I mean, domestic violence is the extreme part of it.
But that's against the law. That's unlawful. The domestic violence is against the law. So
yeah, but sometimes it's not reported within the confines of a marriage.
Mm-hmm.
So they would use it as a means to get out of the marriage, and whatever circumstance. But a lot of times, unreasonable behavior can be very nuanced in terms of what people consider unreasonable behavior to be. Sometimes it's a simple issue of just not maintaining the household. That the person who is the breadwinner is just financially neglecting the household,
or irresponsible,
and they're struggling to eat, and their children, and they have to get food from neighbors. It could be something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, it could be that. So it's broad in terms of
is counseling a prerequisite before they file. The court agrees to move
you
forward.
have to mention that the court can say go to mediation if you want. Sometimes the court can suggest that, but generally at the point of a divorce, the court is just going along with whatever it is because one party is requesting it, which means the marriage is broken down. All the court is saying is have you come under one of the defined grounds, which is what I would have mentioned. So basically that. So you have but it's a big chunk of what lawyers do. Because people are always getting married, and people correspondingly are always getting divorced. It's always sad, and sometimes it's very painful for people, huh?
Well, I think most of the times, and some people are really, but I mean, to make that commitment.
Some people they're separate. No, some people it's easy in the sense they're separated 10 years now. They say, look, I just want to get it.
You just want to cut ties.
I want to remarry, and they just want to get it. But some it's still very emotional, and they would sit in the office with you, and they would actually cry, and you have to be part therapist in a kind of way, And sometimes it's a very dark. Very, very dark. Yeah?
Can you share what percentage of men come to file versus women? Was it primarily women come to file for divorce more?
I wouldn't want to hazard a guess on that. I would want to say it's more women, but all of that data is recorded.
Okay.
And but I wouldn't want to guess off the top of my head. But people there's some very dark marriages. And I remember getting a card from a woman once, and she had migrated, and she said that her marriage and coming out of the marriage was one of the darkest moments in her life. And she just didn't know. And she said the only light was legal aid.
Wow.
Was the only light in her life that we managed to navigate her out of it. And she said, nobody knows the kind of work that you all do here, and you all are not really, praised for it, but I wanted to say thank you for getting me through it. So you get those kinds of stories,
We have a call, gentlemen, so let's grab it. Good morning.
Good morning, Steve.
Morning, dear.
Good morning, Paul.
Morning.
Good morning, Richard. Steve.
Morning.
For your family son duties, according to Paul. Paul said you perform son duties. Hope everything is all right with your parents.
Yeah, everything is good. Everything is good.
Nice. So, concerning the morning poll, I can't say really that the TPS is improving, not because they got a few things just the other day, but the thing is, they're not doing sufficiently for me to say that, right? Because, it's a hard job. It is really taxing on them, but they need to show more enthusiasm. So finding that, yes, because I feel it because under public pressure for the last few days with all these different things happening, they kind of put in an extra effort. But they have to do that on a daily basis, not now, and then when people quiet down, they slow down again. So I don't think they have been improving. Yeah, they have to do the fines and so on, but that to me is not enough for me to say otherwise. So that is one part. So my other part is this thing with PriceSmart and the bank, mostly RBC. Why is it that some people, a friend of mine, she got 1725 they took out, and that was like 3 months ago. She transacted business. 3 months ago, she hasn't done anything since that, and she got back $5 less. You think they're gonna pay her that $5? They'll find that so insignificant. So she must lose $5 on account of their technical glitch. I find that we in Trinidad is tolerate a lot of chippiness.
Yeah, boy, no kidding.
And it's getting worse with everything that we do. So what time will we wake up and say, why we don't stop these things from happening? And so much, technology is there, so what the hell?
Yeah.
Stand up for our rights, Anyway, you all have a good morning.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you.
All my lines are lit up. Good morning, caller.
Hey, morning, Mr. Agubase.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, Mr. Patrick.
Mr. Agubase, it's apologize. You read about statistics with divorce and marriage, boy. And I observe that going on for the longest while, boy. The among the people I know get divorced, who married within a little 5 years, 10 years, and get divorced. And when you find out, ask them, what's going on? They say the marriage breakdown. Richard Agubase, just so the marriage has breakdown, they can reconcile the differences. I see, but what it is all you can reconcile? So another thing I see going on, another unfaithfulness, because I hear women talking about a lot of their husbands just gone with them Venezuelan woman and them. So like right now, like people really.
Or they will find a way to blame Venezuelans for everything in this country, yes?
Not me.
So Trini man didn't use a horn before Venezuelans come here. Okay, they were the most faithful men in the world. And since Venezuelans come here, Trini men horning. Really?
No. There was always horning. Horn was always going on. But like they say, like you have a proliferation and horning going on. And a lot of women outside are having problem with these women. And I asked them why. I said, if all your household was never strong or good or whatever, I don't know. And another cause too, I talked to him recently, maintaining the family, boy. There were a lot of men not maintaining the family. Richard Agubase?
Yeah.
A lot of men not maintaining the family. And when the woman bring them up for maintenance, the men fight what he wants and go on their way. So that is not surprising to me, because I see that right or wrong now going on, but this divorcing, people don't take marriage against serious. The minute something happens, them gone. This is a long time you hold on and you hold on to marriage and you hold on until death do us part or kind of thing. People say, yeah, what's going on? Until death do us part, before I kill somebody, let me go from here. That's what we're
right.
Yeah. And there are a lot of people struggling out there, but the among that single woman I just meet with one child, 2 child that just get divorced and all that. I wonder what's really going on there. Like people don't care and love people anymore again, but you know what's going on.
Both tried causing divorce. Both tried.
Look who you reach. Both ride.
Both tried to cause divorce.
Behavior. And another thing too, a lot of people running into a relationship and they don't know the other party. So at the end of the day, when the thing is working out, they're gone. But I believe if the thing is really working out before it reaches to violence, better you walk away. All right,
Mr. Patrick.
222-8255, toll free North Americans, 866-525-1099. That's our number directly into our studio. Of course, a toll free number as well. And of course, our poll, vote on Excel. And we asked you this morning, do you think the TTPS is improving its fight against crime in our beloved Twin Island Republic? Yes or no? Vote on it. Yeah. And
the big story this morning
I listened to Avi. She was saying that that the TTPS has an overall fleet of 2,240 vehicles, but only 1,369 vehicles are working properly.
Clearly, the Ministry of National Security has an issue with maintenance of equipment. That's what that tells me.
Yeah, but you know,
and I guess because they think all you have to do is apply for the city minister and need more cars, as opposed to having a proper maintenance schedule for cars. But then isn't VEMCOT the agency through which the TTPS maintains cars, and I guess other mechanic shops too, or maintenance shops too.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen a police RAV4 X-Trail, or one of them, where the fender is halfway ripped out. But you see, there's no accountability. Paul is a police officer. He hits the vehicle. Oh, no problem. I just carry back to the police station.
You're right.
And that's it. There's no accountability. So they'll continue to wreck the cars. It's not coming out of their pocket.
Morning,
caller.
Morning, Steve. Very happy belated with the Steve.
Hey, thanks, Ollie. Appreciate that.
Yeah. The TTPS, these vehicles that they say can be retailed. You know, strange enough, they're going to sell them in auctions, and you're going to see these same vehicles back on the road, right? Because it happened time and time again. They can't fix it for some reason, but Joe Public and John Public could repair the vehicles and have them back on the road, right? Because I see a lot of them on the road presently, right? Another thing, going back to the, I know you all not talking about this morning, but going back to the minimum wage, right? Now, a lot of people making a big thing about the minimum wage, but you know, there are small businesses that has employees and struggling. Now, I'm not saying that people shouldn't get a better salary, right? Like in my case, since COVID, since the turn of COVID, business has slowed down tremendously, right? And there are days that I telling you, it have days that sales just cross $300, right? And we are the survivor for that. Now it have the good days, I'm not saying no, right? But at the end of the day, I still have to replenish the store. I still have employee to pay. I still have to pay my wife for the days that she works, right? And I still have rent to pay, electricity to pay, right? So, you know, the sad thing about it is, what should I do about this? Should I cut the employees' days? Should I have her work every day and start to pay out of my pocket? You know? So it's a kind of difficult, bittersweet. It's a bittersweet thing for this minimum wage, so to speak. Because I mean, it's sweet for the employees, but for the employer, it's a bit difficult, you know, for smaller businesses. Yeah, gentlemen, have a good day.
All right, Oliver. Thank you so much.
All right.
All the best to you. Have a good one. 222-8255, toll-free North Americans. Yep, I did say toll-free. 866-525-1099. You can send us a message via YouTube or Facebook. I'll get it right here in the studio.
Richard, Beauty Culture wants to know if you can share what will cause a judge to rule that a woman pay alimony in a divorce matter. You're muted.
If she's the breadwinner, that's the easy answer. Sometimes
she's the primary breadwinner.
Yeah, sometimes women are the primary breadwinner in a household, and sometimes you have at-home dads now too. Huh?
Yeah.
So in that kind of situation, she's the one called upon to pay the maintenance, and also sometimes it's the father who has the children, has custodial rights to the children. Yeah, and so she's paying also for the children. That happens. People generally think, oh, the woman always has a child. Not always.
No, not always at all. Or the woman maybe
Sometimes the
in a
woman doesn't
position
want the
because of
children.
her job, she can't maintain the children or can't keep the children all the time.
Sometimes the women don't want the children. They just want visiting rights. They don't want to have to
Mhm.
actually have physical custody, so the father has them. So you have all sorts of permutations of how things work.
All right, let's grab some of these calls. Good morning.
Yeah, I call back again.
No
This
kidding.
a vehicle thing with police maintenance. This thing happening in Ministry of Works with truck and tractor. All that thing. Is a government problem.
Local government
That is
too.
a government problem. Like people who business with the government vehicle, and then the government go turn around and tell you they don't have no money to buy parts and buy this and buy that, and the vehicle park up there. That's what's going on, you know. Because some of them vehicles, according to what the guy say, when they auction it off the next month, that vehicle back on the road, you all them bus would have up in PTCC up there. Sell them bus on auction, a party bus after, because people could fix it. So I don't know why the government not fixing it, but I understand why they're not fixing it. Every year, they get money to buy vehicles, so they don't want to maintain them vehicles. You understand? So that's the issue. They don't maintain government vehicles anymore. Right?
No accountability.
But nobody business. If it have 5, 6 different drivers, and sometimes the driver go and vex, he drop the truck down in a big hole and mash up the axle and a tractor. Just a man cutting grass with the tractor, and because they vex, because they run it in some kind of bag wire or some kind of thing and mash up the blade or something. But I work in the system, I know what I talk about. Although they get tap and blame the government, is people, but then now the government can't fire all them people. You understand? They can't fire all them people because them same people going and work with you, Samku and Junior Sami and Munan, and they will never do that.
Because they'll be held accountable.
Correct. All right.
All right, thank you. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Hi, morning. Call you from Orlando.
Hey, Orlando. Good morning to you. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Happy belated birthday to the guy who has a recent birthday. God bless.
Thank you so much. A bit chilly in your neck of the woods this morning.
Yes, it's kind of chill and very under the weather here. Listen, for the poll, first of all, I think the police. If the people have to come up with the idea that the police have to do alone and be performing, you got to help the police. Police need help as well, right? And I think the government has to have a better system where, when people give information, that they will not be, their lives will not be jeopardized. And this is one of the reasons why police can only perform from what they know. And there are people who know about what's going on. They know some of their own family dealing with crime and doing all kind of crazy, but they can't talk. And they don't have a system where they can do it to get the police involved. So it's not just the police. The police don't know when a crime is going to be committed unless somebody gives them information. So it's a hand-in-hand thing. That's how it works here. Everybody, you know something, you say something. Yes, sir? That kind of
Yes, but the system there, trust has been developed between the police and the public. That is not necessarily the situation here.
Well, this is one thing I try not to say, and I try to. This is 2023 going in 2024 soon, and Trinidad is too long underdeveloped. So let's get up on that. And Trinidad has enough brilliant people and systems to put that involved. You don't need it's not required any big set of dollars to do it. Put more cameras, put more drones, put assistance to people when they give information, their names will be called, they don't have to appear in court. Simple as that. Help the police. You can't expect them to do things when they have no information. And then put a reward to bad police officers and bad government ministers, or any sort of professional in the country. If you want to deal with crime, there's a reward for you to report you, with your name not being called. You call it here, they call it whistleblowers. And you have a law for that you don't pass, you don't have to come and testify in court. Once the person is caught in the act, that's it. So they need to change stuff in Parliament down there in Trinidad as well. you know, about that. The part of the marriage part there, well, first of all, I think the police are doing the best they could. That's my thought. So I'm for them. And for the marriage, you know, listen, I've been married twice. I'm still married right now. And people get married for all kinds of reasons, some for very wrong reasons. Very, very wrong reasons. In America here, people get married basically to get, you all know, to get green cards and stuff and get legalized in the country. All over the world it happens. People do it in Trinidad too. They get married and get legalized in Trinidad.
True.
Right? So they get married for the wrong reasons. Then some people tend to, what happens here is that they get married, you made a deal, you have an agreement, and then all of a sudden they want more. Men want to have sex and get the woman pregnant because they're giving her a few dollars for, you know, she's spending a few dollars or whatever, but they want more. Women tend to, some women have the other way, they want more money after you made an agreement. You know, so it's all kind of stupid reasons. I have a friend right here in Florida. He has 2 wives because he got married in Eritrea in Africa. The law states there, if you marry one, you have to marry 2. That's the law, otherwise you go to jail. So there are more women over there than men, right? Most of the men died in the war. So they have a overflow of women. Also in some parts of down in South Africa, you have to marry 4. So the thing is, people get married for all the wrong reasons. So it's just based on what you're getting married for, you know? So this is what makes it happen. You get married for love, and you love the person from wherever you fight for it. Otherwise, you just go for the moment, and when it's over, you go your way. But in the eyes of God, it's wrong. Anyway, nice program. Really enjoying you all because it's cold out here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, y'all have a good one, man.
Have a great day.
Yeah, thank you, Orlando. Take care. Oopsie. All right. Got a couple of minutes again. 222-8255. Toll free North Americans. 866-525-1099. Got a couple of minutes again. Good morning, caller. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
The question is for Richard.
Mm-hmm.
Richard, when a woman paying alimony, she lost her job, what happens?
You have to go back to court to adjust the order.
And who will mind who then? If explain, go a little deeper, because the man's supposed to take care of the woman. All of a sudden, woman has to mind man if the woman lose her job and the man don't have any money to collect.
But you're kind of taking it from an extreme point of view. I'm saying this happens sometimes in terms of women are the primary breadwinner. It's not that all women having to take care of man. You're being extreme in terms of that.
No. I say if the woman lost her job, what happens?
It's just like if a man loses his job. If there is a court order, you have to go back to the court and see my financial circumstances have changed. And whereas I was paying $5,000 a month, I'm no longer in a position to do that because of whatever situation. And the court will listen and then decide, make a decision. But you have to have the court order changed because it's an order of the court why you're paying X or Y or Z. So once your financial circumstances have changed, it's incumbent on you to go back to court to adjust that court order. Otherwise, you now run the risk of owing money on a court order that has its own repercussions.
Okay.
So that it would hold for either party, man or woman, whoever has the order against them. And if their financial circumstances have changed, they have to go back to the court and indicate that.
The court should say, well, listen, you all mind the children equally and end it. So nobody wouldn't have to be going back and forth.
Well, it depends. Each case is different.
Because some people will say, listen, you have a better job than me, and I could slack off and you would take care of it. You know how things go, how human beings think.
Yeah, but that's why I say each circumstance is different, because you have some women who don't work at all. They're only housewives, or they are at-home moms. Similarly, you have at-home dads. So it's a variety of situations, and in terms of how people live together and how people are married.
True. Concerning the credit card, my credit card was used 3 times the other day. I think this is something that happening now. I had to go in 3 withdrawal at $2,000. I had to go in and change the card. That have nothing to do with price, and that happened 11th of September the other day. So people just out there and just digging up in your business. So people have to be very careful now with their credit card.
Yep.
Always have to be.
Yep.
Okay.
You always have to be vigilant.
All right. 222-8255, toll-free North Americans, 866-525-1099. Numbers directly into our studio. All right. Angela Collier-Lewis, good morning to you. David, how you going? Prabha, good morning to you as well. Right, yeah.
Never a dull moment in Trinidad and Tobago, I'll say that much.
Yeah, boy. Never a dull moment.
And you know, be careful on the roads, please. The statistics show there's an increase in road fatalities, particularly pedestrians who are dying as a result of collisions with cars and stuff like that. I saw a video of someone knocked down. I don't think it was a fatality. Right underneath the walkover by Breakfast Shed. There's a walkover there, and they try to run across the Rising Road right underneath the walkover. So they ignore the walkover, try to dart across that. That's an 8-lane or 6-lane
3 east and 3 west. So
yeah, 6-lane cars pelting down, and you try to dart across when the walkover is right over you. And a car collided with the person, and they had to be taken to hospital. I don't know how serious it was, but come on, you know. So you don't want to take the extra effort of walking up the stairs and walking over the walkover in a safe manner, and you get knocked down. So even if you escape the ones on one side, the other one coming. Come on, that doesn't make any sense. You're putting your life at risk.
None. Good morning, caller.
It's me again. Morning, Steve. You remember Mr. Hines came on the radio a while back and talk about giving out scholarships for that place you're talking about there? You can't remember that, Steve?
The Pathology Center, that was about 2 years ago, yes.
Yes, and when I called him about it, he said he never said that. Could you get him back to discuss something? Because there are a lot of people looking to be in that field, like my granddaughter, who worked for a whole year for free, and up to now he ain't said nothing about any scholarship. That is why people have to complain about him, because his word is like nothing. Give out the scholarship. Let the young people who are really interested in this, is not a job that all young people want to do, and make it easy for people to get in the field so they wouldn't be quarreling about bodies line up and bodies in line up. Pull him back in and ask him some questions, because the child really interested. She's doing something else, but she's still interested in that.
All right. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, first one again. People from the state calling me and asking me what going on in custom. You know, custom, people think backlog after that thing, is
I keep hearing that.
Yeah, I heard that too.
I heard and they're delaying the processing, and every day you have to pay. Is it demurrage? Which is
I shipped something there from since over September up to now. I ain't get yet. A month and a half gone. Right? So people asking the question, if they're shipping thing here for Christmas, when they will get, if it's after Christmas, I say, I don't know. So somebody in custom needs to come and clarify and clear the air to people.
Mr. Patrick, customs is its own government and state in this country. You know?
It's an entity upon itself.
Customs is like a foreign state in this country. Can do what they want to.
You know, a lot of people survive on stuff from the States, right?
Customs, I don't know. Like, customs beyond fixing in Trinidad and Tobago.
And right now, the Christmas season coming up. I know 2 businessmen who say they lost a lot of money from the beginning because it's time they pay rent and they wasn't getting the stock.
Yeah. And the containers, for one, the containers on the port. They're not paying dues yet because it's not been cleared yet.
It's not been open and cleared yet. So, let customs tell the public what's going on.
I wouldn't say so. If you have, how should I put this delicately? Disposable cash and open to other types of negotiations, you may get it cleared.
So, go on, Richard. I got it out.
you may be able to foster different types of negotiations and get it cleared.
I like it.
If you're open to different kinds of
different strokes of different people.
Different types of connections.
All right, I got it.
All right, Mr. Patrick, thanks. All right, gentlemen, you guys have to go. Leonard Naipaul, good morning to you.
Have a great day or be safe out there. Shouldn't be as hot today.
Yeah, just reminding you that theater's on this weekend. Bacchanal Bubble on Bad Behavior is on at Cipriani College, Saturday at 8:30, Sunday at 6:30. Held over by public demand. You can check RSRR Productions theater page for more information. And of course, tickets go on sale from tomorrow at the Cipriani College box office. Tickets should be available at all the usual outlets from 1 p.m. today. Have a fantastic day, whatever you do.
All right, Richard, thank you so much. All right, folks, keep it locked on.